live. We are live. We are live. Welcome to Unlock Your First Six Figures morning show. I am your host, Shay Cannon. I'm an award-winning fractional chief operating officer with an exclusive clientele of 6 and 7-figure CEOs. However, I have a mission, and that mission includes you. That is entrepreneurs and small business owners who are spinning their wheels and struggling to get to their first 6 figures in business. I want to show you how to make the money and create time freedom. That's make the money and create time freedom. My freedom looks like living and working my business from anywhere in the world. Just to skip to it, I am currently living and loving and doing business in Mexico. Okay, Mexico. Let Miss Inga in. Oh, all right. So this week, Blog Talk has been released, and so has the topic of the week. But if you came in on a little banter before we officially got started, the ladies were talking about the retreat that they just came off of about a week ago. So if you missed 2023 this year and you are feeling FOMO, like Auntie Shaky said, then you need to make sure that you are a part of next year's retreat. Go to shaycannon.com/retreat. Heather and Teray and the other ladies got their pictures from photo shoot day. Let me just tell you, watch how that brand just transforms visually with these pictures, because the photographer was amazing. The makeup artist, amazing. Okay. And guess what else? We had a creative director to help them through their shoot, make sure hair and makeup was done, make sure the posing was great. Amazing. Okay, so if you missed it, what Teray said was the price of admission was worth that damn photo shoot. So shaycannon.com/retreat. Now, this week, what are we talking about? Y'all know I sit down over the weekend, probably last minute on Sunday, and I decide what could be transformational for the week as a topic for you guys, right? And one thing that I'm working on and that I know you should be working on is your influence, okay? Your influence. What we see is it is easier for someone to build their influence and then create a successful business than it is to create a business and try to be successful without influence, okay? Without influence. Now, I named the topic this week, Influence the Blueprint, because also recently, Issa Rae has been on my mind, y'all. Issa Rae. Now, I've loved her from Insecure. I loved her even more when they asked her in the 2017 Emmys, who was she rooting for? And she said, everybody Black. Okay, everybody Black. And she meant it. And I love it. But one of the things that she said recently at a business conference where I was live and she spoke on stage was she talked about blueprints and how when she wants to be successful in something, she looks for people who are already successful and she studies their blueprint. Okay, because if someone is successful, they've left a path, a how-to, some step-by-steps. You can kind of see it, reverse engineer it, right? So she talked about a blueprint. I thought that was great. It held in my mind. It was in my notes. But let me tell you, I found her on masterclass.com, and she has an entire teaching session or sessions, right? And she's calling them Creating Outside the Lines. Okay, that's what she's teaching about. Now, what she's teaching about really is like creating characters and creating like scripts and stuff for series. But again, she's talking about blueprints, right? She didn't just talk about the ones that she followed. She left one for the people behind her. And that's what she taught. Okay. So when it comes to this influence, I was like, we all need it to help our businesses be more successful. Who has the blueprints? Right? So what I did was I went to the top 4 platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. They are the top ones right now in this space and time. And I found the top influencers and I figured out what their blueprint was. Okay. So today we're going to talk about influencers and blueprints from Facebook. Okay. Influencers and blueprints from Facebook. Now, I'm going to tell you who the people are. If you go to the blog post, shaycannon.com/blueprint, all of these people are linked to the accounts that we're talking about. Okay. All of Issa Rae's stuff is linked. So go check it out at the blog post. However, it's not really to me important who they are. What's most important for me is how they use the platform. So that's what I want you to pay attention to, because I'm going to ask you. All right, ladies. So you can know what right now, because my ladies like take notes. Y'all just don't know. But I'm going to ask you, which blueprint do you think will work better for you? Okay. Now, first influencer, Amy Porterfield. Okay. Now, she's a social media strategist and online marketing expert, but her blueprint for Facebook is that she uses it to showcase her offers. She offers webinars, she offers courses, and she offers insights into building and scaling online businesses. Okay. This is her blueprint on how she got influence on Facebook. Brian Tracy, he's a renowned author and motivational speaker. He used his Facebook, this is his blueprint, to share inspirational content, success strategies, and practical tips for individuals and businesses. Okay. That is his blueprint and how he became an influencer on Facebook. Mary Smith. Okay. I think it's actually Mari Smith. It's Mari, Mari Smith. Now, I encountered Mari Smith last year. I am in an international marketing program, and she came and spoke to us live. It's virtual, but it was live, right? And we were able to ask her questions and all this stuff. And I didn't know who Mari was. And it's so funny because I came back to report about it. And guess what? Somebody in the community knew who she was. Cheryl had been following her for years, right? I just didn't know about her. However, she is a leading Facebook marketing expert and social media strategist. So she was an early adopter of Facebook. This is her blueprint. She uses Facebook to provide up-to-date insights, okay, and strategies for businesses looking to improve their social media experience, especially on Facebook. That's her blueprint, okay? Then we have Frank Kern, Kern, okay? He's a marketing and advertising expert known for his digital marketing insights. Now, this is his blueprint on Facebook. He uses it to share valuable content on online marketing strategies, funnels, and business growth. Okay, that's what makes him a top influencer. So really what he's sharing is his expertise all the time. Now, as a bonus, because like it's a Ray, I'm rooting for everybody Black. And so sometimes the top influencers are not Black, so I go and find us one, okay? So the bonus is Charlamagne Tha God, okay? Charlamagne Tha God. Now, you may know him as a radio host, but he has gone so far past just being a radio host. He's now a best-selling author of more than one book. I'm sure Heather loves that. And he's a media personality. Now, how did he do that? How did he go past being just a radio host? So let me tell you how he's using Facebook. Here's his blueprint, okay? He provides insightful discussions on social issues. He leads the discussion, by the way, okay? He does interviews with influential figures, and he adds content on personal development. Okay. And it's funny because he has used all of this content to write his books. This is the same topics that his books are about. So to Ray, you would really love that as a blueprint, right? Because you're going to come out with your book and then you're going to come out with the transformational methods that you're going to share based on the book. So all of these people have a blueprint on how they're using Facebook and how they built their influence. Now, let me tell you how most often who you think is an overnight success probably took years and years of consistency. Okay, years and years of consistency. Now, let me tell you what that consistency looked like. The same things they're known for. They had this main thing, frame of reference for the content that they use. Every time you switch up your content, you're starting to counter over, right? And when I say switch it up, I mean, if it doesn't have an umbrella that it fits under smoothly, where you're talking about the same things all the time. And for us in particular, we want that same thing to lead them to our offer. So it needs to be in the realm of the offer. It needs to show that we're an expert in the offer that we're sharing and that we want people to buy from us. Okay. So I gave y'all the blueprints. All right. I would love to know which person's blueprint you feel like you are going to follow to build your influence. Which blueprint are you going to use? All right. I'm going to start with Heather. Heather, which blueprint are you going to use?
I knew you were going to do that.
Yes.
Okay. So Amy Porterfield and Charlamagne are the only two in that list that I'm familiar with. So I would probably some combination of the both, although I wouldn't be doing necessarily like social commentary like Charlamagne does, but I would definitely want to talk about more things that relate back to storytelling, and how to structure what makes a good story and how to tell one.
Love it. Love it. And what I love about that is it's going to bring in something I think you don't talk about near enough, right? You don't talk about enough that you are a published writer because you are a journalist, right?
I did.
Yeah, you may edit best-selling books, right? And you're working on publishing your first book. However, you've been a published writer through your journalism. And I don't think that you talk about that near enough because it gives you your expertise, multifaceted, just good stuff, right?
Yes. And I did start that last week because you
love it.
Me. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Next up, Auntie Shaky, whose blueprint are you going to follow?
I am going to follow, I love Charlamagne's about the social issues for myself, especially around money. So like
or lack thereof, right?
Right, or lack thereof. Like for example, oh gosh, who is that? Jeezy and his wife, just broke up or whatever, like being able to talk about that and what that looks like for protecting her protecting herself or even the child that they have together. And then also when you talked about for Mari, that she talks about provide insight on how to like improve and stuff like that, like using that blueprint as well. So yes, between the two of them.
I love that for you. Because there are a lot of social issues due to lack, and that lack is usually at the root of lack of money. Right. And so with you being the financial matchmaker and matching people to their wealthy pathway, I think that that's going to be good for you because sometimes people don't understand. And it's hard to understand when you're growing up in lack. It's hard to understand that money is just a tool. Right. Because when you're growing up in lack, you think money is the goal. You have no idea that money is the tool to get you to the life. Right. It's simply the thing that pays for the life. And so we're actually not working for money. We're working for the life that we want. But oftentimes, because we're just trading time for money, you're going to work yourself to death because that's not the way to wealth. Right. And so your financial matchmaking helps them to get to those different ways they had no idea about, because for generations and generations, nobody was educated on that stuff. So I love that. And you definitely need to hit them hard with those pain points, hit them hard with what they don't know and how it's hurting them. So I love that for you. All right. To Ray, before you park and get Hassan where he needs to go, which blueprint are you going to use?
Definitely the one that you mentioned. What's his name? Charlamagne?
Charlamagne Tha God.
Yeah. But the first guy too that you mentioned.
Okay, Ryan Tracy, maybe.
Yeah. I was thinking about. I forget all the things that you said about him, but while you were saying it, I was like, yeah, I could use that as well. And let me just say that this topic is so on time because after me brainstorming and buzzing after the retreat about all the things and ready to execute, how I execute developing a blueprint is like a big deal. And so thank you for this topic.
No problem. And so the retreat that she's talking about is the one we just had for this year. But if you missed out, go ahead and get started for next year. ShayCannon.com/retreat. And yes, the retreat has garnered the ladies their own blueprint. In fact, they get it today. But it's really just a copy of what we already talked about. We went through in the retreat and we gave each lady a blueprint, right? One-on-one blueprint. And so they have one to work from, but that blueprint was for business as a whole. This week, we're talking about a blueprint for influence in particular. Okay. So Dr. LaFera, come off the mic and tell us which blueprint are you going to use for your influence? Because we know that influence drives traffic to our offer, and that's how we get to our first 6 figures in business. So Dr. LaFera, which blueprint are you looking forward to using? And while we're waiting on Dr. LaFera to unmute if she can, Heather put in that money is circulating energy. I still struggle with adhering to this. Yeah, but if you flip that mindset, baby, you'll recognize that working ain't even the only way to get money. So when you realize it's a circulating energy, you realize that it start coming from everywhere. What you got, Dr. LaFera?
I was gonna say I like how you talked a long time. You were so sweet. Gave me time.
It's that radio stuff. It's that radio. You can't leave dead air. I can't just be like Dr. LaFera.
I wasn't gonna be dead air, Shay. So
okay, which blueprint are you going to use?
Say I know Charlamagne. I don't listen to him all the time, but I know him. I like the way he does stuff, and he gets influence, and he's like meaningful. Like people feel like they gotta hear what he has to say. I want to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
But for women over 40 and like personally, I know I haven't talked about this a whole lot. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do it. But like how when we start to have these body changes, and it affects our self-confidence, like it also affects our relationships, even if it doesn't affect our self-confidence. And so like the way that the men are, the people in our lives, we let them treat us or we're treated, a lot of that affects how we go through those changes too physically. So I know that talking about more about that would be helpful to women. And so I'm trying to figure out how to incorporate that more into what I talk about. And then, so the courses, like you talked about with Amy Porterfield, because I'm working on one.
Yes.
So that I could put that into courses too. It may be like even a separate course from like what I'm working on. It probably will be, because I feel like my courses are starting to have like, they're starting to be like more broad, and I don't like that. So I'm gonna have to break them down. But yeah, so those couple of people, I like Issa Rae. I like how she's so, opinionated. She says what she thinks. She's not apologetic about who she focuses on or supports. I want to be like that too. But
and let me tell you, Dr. LaFera, if y'all ever
doctor.
have the opportunity to watch those masterclass sessions, she cusses all throughout it. She shows up as herself, and y'all know I was proud because every room I walk in, I show up as myself. But she cussed all through them folks' master classes. But you got the point. I loved it. It wasn't cussing for cussing's sake. It was strong emotion behind what she was saying. So I love that. Now, Dr. LaFera, when you said Charlamagne Tha God and talking about social issues for women over 40, we need you to talk about that, right? We need you to help us through that, because, when we see other people go through it, we be like, oh, she's not fat. Why does she think that about herself? This, that, and the other. And she looks good in that. And why doesn't she know she's still beautiful? It's easy for us to encourage other women. And then we get to it, like me and this menopause belly. I'm like, what the fuck is this? What,
Exactly.
Let me tell y'all what happened with the scuba diving for the birthday. Heather missed it, but let me tell y'all what happened. So I had on the bikini bottom, and I had on like the top that kind of it did this like drawstring at the waist, hiding the belly, right? So that was good, right? So I jump into the ocean, we snorkel, whatever, we get ready to come out. Whoo, I take the flippers off. They help me up the ladder. I'm standing up trying to get the snorkel shit off my face, and I realized that when I came out the water, probably when I jumped in, it's probably been that way the whole time, why the tank top had went up above my, right under my chest, and belly just out, y'all. Menopause, belly just out. 3 kids, stretch marks, out. I was like, oh, this is what we doing on this fine snorkel day on this catamaran. This is what we doing in front of all the people. Oh, okay. I had to instantly go into, y'all don't know me. I'm fabulous. Y'all don't even know me. I'm fabulous. So yes, we need all the help to regain our confidence at certain ages, right? We really do. So, Dr. LaFera, one thing you said about your course, let me tell you this. For your course, don't go wide. Stay niched, okay? The wide stuff, pull them out and make them bonuses, make them, a la carte trainings. But for your course, make sure that you stay on the straight line path of the one transformation, okay? Because if you throw all that other stuff in that you think is valuable, all you're really doing is smearing the path. Now they don't know which way to go because you've given them too much. So don't forget that, all right? Cool beans. Demetra, which blueprint are you going to follow? You so
I am
petty.
here, yeah. I am here. Good morning, everyone. I am, I've only heard of course, Issa Rae, but Amy Porterfield. But I think I'm a combination. I would like to be a combination of Amy and Tracy.
Okay. Brian Tracy.
Yes,
Love
Brian
it.
Tracy.
Okay.
Mainly because I want to move into. I'm moving into courses for parents, so they can learn how to help their kids with the reading.
Okay. Love it. Okay. And just like Tracy and some of the other ladies, you can definitely mix and match, y'all. You can use all of it, right? Because all of it is going to help you influence, but you're just going to pick what you're going to specialize in, and the other traits you're going to just kind of fill in. All right. Cheryl, which blueprint are you going to follow?
Good morning, everyone. Brian Tracy and Mari Smith. I think that's a great combo, and they complement one another. And I've been a proponent of theirs for some time. And Brian Tracy, as a matter of fact, last week I was looking at some of his newer stuff that he's done, because a lot of people, you don't know where to find him because he doesn't do a whole lot of ads and all that good stuff, because his stuff is solid. They look for him. And again, he's still doing what he does best, which is that inspirational with the knowledge. So those are mine. And of course, Mari is she's off the chain. That woman, she opened her mouth and there's nothing but, golden nuggets. So anyway,
Cool beans.
that's moi.
Awesome. And Heather's in the studio chat being petty, talking about the guy on the boat didn't mind that my fat ass stomach was out. That's because he was still behind me, Heather. He didn't see that fat ass stomach pop out. But yes, when I covered it back up, I was the shit once again. Okay. So Demetra said, ladies, she's glad that you had a good time at the retreat. She absolutely loves Playa here in Mexico. And it's been her goal to move here. And I'm quite sure she will. Demetra was coming here before I ever got here, I do believe. And I've been here, I was here 3 years before living, and I just got back. So I have decided I want this to be my home base. Can you guys put the names in the chat? I'm in the office and want to write them down. So Kimberly, they're all in the blog post. So shaycannon.com/blueprint. So you'll have more than the names. You'll have everything that we're talking about. Dr. LaFera says, Shay, you so dope. Girl, I walk in every room as myself, fat ass stomach and all. So yes. Let me see. Kimberly, I know you're writing and you may not be able to talk, but if you can talk, come off the mic and tell me, even if you don't remember the name, were there specific strategies that stood out that you want to add to your blueprint? Let's see if you can come off the mic.
Hey, listen, I'm coming off the mic. I'm in the office, but I got to walk away from my desk. I'm going to the cafeteria so I can say what I got to say. So I've heard of, yeah. Well, I heard of Brian Tracy. Of course, it's one of my favorites. But my goal now, so I made the decision this past week that I'm putting Me Too Naturals on autopilot, and I'm going to concentrate on my consulting and training. And so I want to be able to I'm going to follow the blueprint of, I want to be like Issa. I don't curse a lot, but I do cuss. But I want to be one of those people that I can just get on and talk about the things that are important to me, and then influence people to do what's important to them. And I don't know if this is on the path of what you're talking about, because I'm in and out, I'm in and out of work. But my goal is to be able to do, I'm like Dr. LaFera. I'm we're all over 40. We're all, maybe all of us, I don't know. We all just look so young, but my goal is to be able to speak to and talk to people about how they talk to each other, and how they treat each other, whether that's in the workplace, whether that's in your personal lives, or just to strangers, just effective communication across the board. So
I love that. Let me tell you how I love that as a niche within client service. I think a lot of people don't talk about the niche of communication within client service. You could double down on that and really stand out. So client service or client care communication, I love that for you. I mean, I see all kind of templates, and girl, I think you hit something with that one. I think you need to stay with it. Stay with
That's
it.
where I'm going.
All right, cool beans. Now let
Yeah.
me go to your business bestie, Tracy. Tracy, which one of these blueprints are you going to follow, or are you going to mix and match?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm going to stick with Brian Tracy. He's very inspirational. I've read several of his books, and he gives you the tools necessary to succeed. And that's what I want to give people. And when I'm looking at it, I have a financial background, and I'm always leading people to understanding and educating themselves on how to be the best version of themselves while creating wealth. So when I think about what I'm doing, I believe his blueprint is one that I will follow.
Cool beans. I love it. I love it. I see Dewana is joining us on Facebook. Anybody else join us on Facebook, feel free to use the Facebook chat to answer the question. We're about to go to Miss Erica Thomas and Miss Inga Pierce. But before that, I want to give you ladies the benefit of a recap, okay? Because I know we kind of moving fast. I know y'all was like, wait, I didn't know we had homework. Yeah. You had to apply on this morning show, right? Because I really feel like the value is going to be in the application to your business. So let's recap. We have Amy Porterfield. Her blueprint includes offers, webinars, courses, and insights into building and scaling online businesses. That's what she uses Facebook for. Brian Tracy uses Facebook for inspirational content, success strategies, and practical tips for individuals and businesses. That's his blueprint. Mari Smith uses Facebook to give up-to-date insights and strategies for businesses looking to improve their social media presence, especially Facebook. So that's her blueprint. Frank Kern, his blueprint is that he uses Facebook to offer valuable content on online strategies, marketing strategies, funnels, and business growth. And all of that is within his, all of that really is what he sells as an expert, right? As a bonus, I gave you Charlamagne Tha God. His blueprint for Facebook is that he provides insightful discussions on social issues, interviews with influential figures, and personal development content. That is his blueprint for Facebook. So Miss Erica Thomas, thank you for joining us. Let the people know who you are, what your business is, and then tell us which blueprint you're going to use.
Hi, I'm Erica Thompson. I empower entrepreneurs to use digital tech to 10x their business. My digital blueprint, I think, will be, probably a mix between Brian Tracy and Amy Porterfield.
Gotcha. Love it. Now,
I'm
what
loving
would that
the
look like
webinar.
for you?
For me, I'm in the middle of a pivot. I was doing done for you type things, and I'm thinking that I should have like a combination of done for you, consulting, and then courses for those who need DIY options.
Yes, I love that. Erica, especially in the face of how our industry is changing for high ticket done for you services, right? Right now, and it's so funny because I've been saying it for a while now, as y'all know here on the morning show, I've been saying it for a while. Now more and more experts are coming out and saying people are not paying as much for stuff anymore. They came out of, whether you believe is a recession or not, eggs being high, gas being high, people not being able to afford rent. That's something. I don't know if it's a recession or a session or a replay of I don't know what it is, but it's something, right? And so people don't have as much money. If they do have money and they're coming back from it, what's happening is they're keeping their money closer to their chest. They're less likely to jump out and spend on big ticket items like they used to. So diversifying your offering is a great thing to do. Now, what I will say is it doesn't take the place of whatever your main thing is. You should just be using lower price offerings to get them on the path to your main thing. Okay, so I love that you're going to do some DIY stuff. But one thing to think about, Erica, is maybe not cut into the value of the done for you and give them DIY templates that would help them even if they got the done for you, because you still want to push them to the done for you. So don't replace done for you with do it yourself. Just give them do it yourself offers that are helpful and support for done for you. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Cool beans, cool beans. So one thing we need to be careful of is cannibalizing our offers. We don't want to replace the offer. We want to give them lower price options to taste us, to get a quick win so that we can push them to the higher price offer. Okay, so that's one thing we want to keep in mind. Inga Pierce, thank you for joining us. Please tell the people who you are, what your business is, and which blueprint you're going to follow for influence.
Good morning. Again, my name is Inga Pierce. I'm the owner of Pierce Virtual Assistants, and I work with business owners to empower them by ensuring they sustain growth through my tailored services. And I was looking at the blueprints, and I'm going to say a mixture as well between Brian Tracy and I was looking at Frank Kern, but I'll probably have to go with Amy Porterfield as well.
Yeah.
Because hers is more about social media strategists and online marketing, but I can tailor that to administrative services and explain the importance of why business owners don't need to be doing that themselves. So not just marketing, social media strategies, but it's small tasks that they don't realize they're working on that they can pass off to someone else.
Love it. I love that.
Thank you.
So another thing, as having a VA agency, what we know is small business owners are afraid to hire a team, right? And so I feel like one of my gurus, Chris L. Davis from Automation Bridge, he taught me that people hire tech, right? They don't buy tech, they hire tech. And one thing I say from that as a spinoff is small businesses tend to hire tech before they hire people. One thing I feel like you need to reiterate in your content is most small business owners don't know how to run the tech, so they still need people. Okay. Yes. So they be trying to hire the tech so they don't have to hire people, but they don't know how to efficiently or correctly run the tech. So yeah, I think you need to hammer that in your influence. Hammer that they still gonna need people. I mean, people worried about AI and all this stuff, baby. You need to be hammering in, garbage out. If you don't know what to put in, you're gonna get some cracked up stuff to come out. And so you need someone that knows how to prompt engineer. And guess what? They're still going to be people. Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So it's funny because for me, when I think about my own influence and which blueprint I'm going to follow, I feel like it's almost a little of all of them, to be honest with you. And it's funny how when I read Charlamagne Tha God's blueprint, I'm about to start adding in interviews, right? Because that's content. I'm about to start adding in like short series of content about certain things. And so I'm loving what I'm finding, because at the end of the day, when I'm working on something, that's how I figure out what's worthy for y'all, what's valuable for y'all. Because if it's going to work for me, it's going to work for you, right? It's crazy because I'm thinking about what our next affordable workshop is going to be. And I may be jumping the price up before January because y'all, what I thought about when I sat down and thought about what is the best thing for y'all's transformational growth in your business, I realized that I want to do my workshops a little differently now. Where is my page of notes? Because y'all, I basically want to do to where we have a workshop one week, right? But the following week is a challenge based on the workshop. So therefore, in the workshop, I'm giving you the information, but then the following week, only the people that were in the workshop, we're going to have a private challenge to help you to execute it. And so that's going to be well worth the price hike. But I'm thinking about y'all doing the next affordable workshop on organic marketing. It's funny because Heather is here in the other room with me here in Mexico, and she was passing through the room, and I was like, hey, I'm thinking about doing organic marketing. She's like, oh, I think that would be great. See how my genius just comes up, right? But because I feel like a lot of us, whether you have the budget for paid marketing or not, what most people don't understand is you should have a foundation of organic marketing before you start paid marketing. or all you're doing is paying to learn. You're not necessarily paying to get a return. But if you do organic marketing first, you're not paying to learn, and you can still get a return without having to invest money for paid marketing. And once you get off the ground with the organic, then you can apply the paid, but you'll know exactly where to apply the paid. So what do you women on here this morning think about an affordable workshop series on organic marketing, where it's 1 week we have the workshop and the next week we have a private challenge so that you can execute? What do y'all think about that? Come off the mic. I'm not going to go around. So y'all just come off the mic and tell me.
I think by offering the workshop, you're giving people that extra step, because a lot of people attend trainings, but then execution is always the issue, right? They're like, oh yeah, I'm going to get right on that. But then something comes up and they don't do it, or they put it aside because they've got this other thing that they need to do, right? And then they still never get to it. So by adding that execution piece, you're holding their hands, which is really what people need.
Yeah. So what I like about it is I already do my workshops differently, right? In my workshops, I emphasize work, because we're going to work, right? And so I hold workshops and I try to hold space to have a work session, but we'll be in there all night trying to work in a session to get all the things we need to get done. So what I thought about was, for 2024, I want to evolve it even more. And y'all know people love to copy off me, so they'll be copying this too, even your favorite gurus. Because let me tell you how I started this work session thing. And now all your favorite gurus do all kind of work sessions, where your girl was the one that started that, but that's okay. They can keep following my lead. However, I think that the next stage of that is that we learn in the workshop, and then the next week, give you time to process it, get your questions ready, all that kind of stuff. And then the next week we start executing it. I'll break it down into, I don't know if it'll take 3 days or 4 days. At the most, it'll be 5 days. But I think that's going to be the new formula for going into 2024. But I think we're going to go ahead and get started with that, with this next challenge plus workshop, because I just see more transformation happening when I'm there with you. So just so that you know, especially I heard a lot of people saying that they are creating courses. What I learned during my beta course to help small business owners get to their first 6 figures in business, what I learned was that the transformation of my course was not immediately people being at 6 figures. And for those of you who are just meeting me, my integrity is high as giraffe neck. I was going to say something else, but y'all ain't ready for that. High as giraffe neck. If you know the saying, you know the saying. What I recognized was the transformation is I'm teaching you a framework that will help you get to your first 6 figures. So you exiting my program is you knowing the framework, not you having reached the first 6 figures, right? So my level 1 course is all about teaching you the framework. Well, now I've created a level 2 that's all about, now that you have a framework that yielded a blueprint, now I'm going to walk beside you as you execute that blueprint. And it's like you have your own personal COO walking beside you, helping you to pivot, helping you to change, helping you through crisis, and helping you to create structure and more clarity all along the way, right? So what I recognized was, I feel like that's what's missing from a lot of courses and from a lot of learning opportunities. The graduation of the opportunity may not be the result that you want or the transformation you're getting to. The transformation may be now you have the knowledge to go and work it at your pace to get the transformation. Okay, so be careful with the promises that you're making. Stay above board with that kind of stuff, because now more than ever, people are watching what your integrity is like. Now more than ever, people are coach hurt out here from these programs where they're not getting the transformation they were promised and the transformation that they paid for, right? And so especially when they're giving you dollar amounts, you need to know, are you learning a framework? Are you giving me strategies? And if you're giving me strategies, do you have a framework to anchor these strategies so that I can be successful? You got to look for this stuff when you're investing, and you got to provide this stuff when you want people to invest in you. Okay. I saw Auntie Shaky trying to come off the mic. What did you want to add, Auntie Shaky?
No, I'm just going to say that I love that. And what it also provides is that extra level of accountability for somebody like myself. Like, you know, I'll go through a course, but there's nobody to kind of see if I actually am doing it. You know what I'm saying? It just kind of goes in one ear and out the other, and I'll apply it whenever I get ready to apply it. Maybe I won't, maybe I will, so to actually have that extra layer of that challenge allows me to be able to truly execute. And what it does too for the business, for yourself, you actually have more people that can talk about you, that can speak to what you did in there, what you did or what you offered, or this course offered. It actually made some influence, because I have a lot of courses that I've been through that I'm like, they didn't do nothing wrong. I just didn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? I can't really speak to.
Now, this is funny, y'all, because Auntie Shaky, I just created a new program, and Auntie Shaky was asking me about it, and I was like, yeah, you finna waste your money because you're not finna execute. So that's the answer is no. And she was like, no, I'm gonna do it. And I want you, the purpose is I want you to show me how to get my team to do it. I was like, oh, okay. Then that, saying if you're willing to invest in a team to execute, when I know your ass ain't finna execute, then that's a winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner, right? So again, you need to be funny about your course, right? Because these people will come to your course, not do the work, and then now you have a bad name when they didn't do the work. Or they'll say your stuff didn't work when they didn't work it, right? Another thing that I would love to tell you about is, as you're creating these courses, make sure you're putting in KPIs or key performance indicators. How do people know they are successful, right? How do they know they're successful all along the way? Do you have milestones? Do you help them to understand how they're graduating from one milestone to the next? You know what I'm saying? So I'm incorporating all of that because I see all of that missing from my industry. How do you know? Okay, I'm teaching you a framework, but how do you know you graduated from one phase of the framework to the next phase? Well, I'm gonna have it in there, right? So even at the end, what is the graduationable? I'm gonna coin this phrase, graduationable transformation, right? What should they have gotten that they say that they're now a success at now that they've ended your course, right? You have to think about these things, not just to get people to their transformation, but also to make sure that you're giving people their money's worth, to make sure you understand what the actual transformation of what you're giving is. Because sometimes it's not the big transformation. Sometimes it's something on the road to the big transformation. A lot of people may or may not ever get the big transformation. Now you don't have testimonials, but you taught them something. They have the knowledge to get the transformation. So let's celebrate that instead of them actually getting to it, because they may or may not, right? So make sure you know what the actual graduationable transformation is, so that you know what type of testimonials to get, so that you have social proof, sell more people, change more lives, and so on. All right. Well, we're at the top of the 9 o'clock hour. Does anybody have any business question before we leave out of here? This was an amazing discussion. Let me tell y'all how I just be picking this stuff. I pick this stuff late on Sundays. And I really think in terms of what I think will have the best return on your time, the best influence on your business to help you get to your first 6 figures. What do you got, Dr. LaFera? Dr. Fell got her hand raised and everything. You can come off the mute, and I'm going to lower your hand.
I did. Okay. So, all right. So, you know what I said that I wanted to work on more for my business. And so, I kind of always have wanted to do that, but I want to do it. I want to, I know I'm a doctor. I know people see me a certain way, right? And so, but I still want to have my opinion. And because I've had these relationship issues, and had to work through them, and some of them are still kind of ongoing. How do you, because you're very opinionated, but me having a way that people already perceive me, how do I kind of best just say what I think?
Okay.
And still be Dr. LaFera, medical Dr. LaFera, I guess objection.
Well, what I'm going to say is, if you only stay Dr. LaFera, then you're just one of many doctors. if you're Dr. LaFera with a thought that you lead with that sometimes go against the grain, that's what's going to make you an influencer, right? And being an influencer is what's going to allow that MD and all those board certified licenses that you have to now come forward and be shared with more people. So I would say, be who you are, share what you want to share, but to the end of getting people the information that they need, right? I go against the grain all the time because I identify gaps in my industry. I identify that it's gone this way for so long, but so many people are falling through the cracks. And so I'm trying to help those people to stop falling through the cracks. So I'm speaking to them, right? So what you will find is when you give your opinion, that's how you create a tribe that actually follows you. Okay. If you have the same opinion as everybody else, you are not a thought leader. You have to lead with original thoughts to be a thought leader. And thought leaders are who garner tribes and therefore garner influence. Now, let me help you look at it a different way. Even if you were a nutcase, okay, let's say you crazy and what you think don't make a bit of sense. If you were consistent with the thought of what you think, even though it doesn't make sense, there are going to be many people that follow you on that thought that don't make sense just because you were consistent with that thought that don't make sense. That's how we get people who are cult leaders. That's how we get not Marilyn Manson, but Charlie Manson and all those kind of people. All they are consistent with their thoughts that go against the grain. That's actually how you create a tribe. Nobody's following somebody that's just like everybody else. There's nothing to follow. You see what I'm saying? So this is why we're working on our influence, but while we're working on our influence to stand out, you have to be saying something a little different or saying it in a way that people who hadn't understood it before now understand.
What if I told you?
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yes. What if you told me?
Okay. Yeah. Like for the women that are following me, because like I can put up videos and get them to follow me if I talk about, certain topics that are kind of more social, because I don't really do a lot of teaching anymore on like specific like medical terminology, technical stuff, because that's not what people show up for me. But I'm like, what if I told you that a lot of issues that we face as women, are because of the way that we have dealt with other people? And then I start going more into like the relationship aspect of, I'm not trying to be a relationship coach, but I am trying to be disruptive, like what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, we know that, you're a pathologist. So what we know is disease comes from dis-ease. And most dis-ease come from relationships. So you should talk about that. You also should talk about the fact that some of these problems we're having as aging and maturing women is our diet. Food is the original medicine. Yep. And that's what goes into the recipes and the cooking that you do. And so, and
our relationships with food.
Exactly. So there you go. It's relationships again. And the crazy part about it is, if you came out talking about that as a doctor, that's going against the grain. Because what we know is that we know most doctors are pulled in by big pharma to just prescribe.
And I don't do that.
That's you going against the grain. And with you having a chronic illness, I don't want you to just show your high times. I need you to show your low times and tell people how you come up out of them.
You told me that.
You're still human. And you're going to have to, and they're going to relate to you better, right? You're going to encourage more people. So
I did that last night, Shay.
Yeah. So one thing that I'm about to do for my level 2 course, for the ladies that are, that just left the retreat are about to be offered my level 2 course today, right? You cannot get into my level 2 course until you have a roadmap for me. And you can get a roadmap from me in one of 4 ways, right? And the retreat was one of the ways. But this, we're going to say, group of women that take me up on this offer, they're going to get a bonus in that I'm going to grow my course to its first 6 figures along with them and let them in behind the scenes, right? The failures, the wins, the everything. People appreciate that more, because if all you show is the wins, you're only showing one facet. And if I'm not winning, I don't know how to come out of the not winning to get into the winning, because you never showed your behind the scenes, right? So definitely show the behind the scenes, definitely. But also stand up and be the doctor. because with you studying disease and understanding the root cause of diseases, you have to tell us about that. You have to tell us about that. Definitely. Some people don't understand that their people pleasing is killing them. They don't understand. Some people don't understand that putting other people before them and giving other people the benefit of their life, and they not having their own benefit of their own life is killing them. So yeah, you need to talk about that, and you need to help them with that. Do I need to do another level? What are the levels? I have a blueprint from you. So funny you should say. So my main thing is my level 1 course. And that's where I teach my framework, 6 phases to 6 figures, right? So it's a course, they go through the course, and I'm there guiding them through the course to learn the framework only. That's level 1. Auntie Shaky is on like level 1.5, right? She has come from another mastermind. She and the other, Dr. Tanya, is in level 1.5. It hasn't even gone to the public yet for real, because it's a special course in that people who have had coaching before, but that coaching didn't work for them because they were given high level strategies without the foundation that they needed. That's what that course is. It's a 1.5, but it ends in a roadmap. And so now they can qualify for level 2. Okay. Then you can do a strategy session with me to get a roadmap. That's where I'm using my framework to give you a roadmap, or you could have come through the retreat. So that's 4 ways, but all 4 ways you end up with a roadmap, whether you learned how to do it yourself or I did it for you in one way or another. Level 2 is walking you through the framework that you have now learned how to do, right? We're executing in level 2. So that's how my stuff works. For anybody else. Now, I might have multiple levels, but again, my main thing in the forward-facing program is level 1.